Yellow! This here is perhaps the only bout that appeared competitive for Khabib Nurmagomedov, with Joe Rogan and a lot of other fans very confused about the outcome. I don't have an opinion on the outcome, but one thing is for certain, the unmatched chain grappler we all know, Khabib Nurmagomedov, could not secure a takedown versus this man. You heard that right. Gleison Tibau contested every one of Khabib Nurmagomedov's takedowns. Notice how muscular this man is, shredded, truly a beast of possessing a membership at his local YMCA you would not catch skipping a day of bison back. Again, it's not my place to say whether or not he's taken test boosters, but even to this day, Gleison Tibau is just straight up massive. With that said, what about Gleison's sheer muscle mass made it so difficult for Khabib Nurmagomedov? Watch here how, like a panther, Khabib feints up high, then under Gleison's jab, he enters for a single leg. Versus Al Iaquinta, there was nothing Al could do. The moment Khabib had secured his grip, you just could not see Al shaking him off of him. This is what Dustin was saying to his corner as well. The moment Khabib gets his hands on you, you just can't shake him off, with even Michael Johnson stating that he's never fought someone who felt as strong as Khabib. But watch. With one arm, barely having a single underhook, hopping on one leg, then getting an overhook, Gleison, he's actually managing to keep his hips under him. His black belt in jiu-jitsu, paired with his sheer arm strength, has allowed him to retain his hips under him, thus his balance. And Khabib, he's rolling with it. He's focused on his next best move, moving Gleison to the cage. As strong as Khabib is, his game is leverage, and from here, he gives up on the single leg, because with arm strength, watch how Gleison's overhook has pried Khabib off a strong point of leverage. Because of this, Khabib gives up on that takedown and transitions to something else. Watch how Khabib's body is held against Gleison's at an angle, using this angle to multiply the force generated by his hips to keep Gleison against the cage. Khabib Nurmagomedov tries to tilt Gleison off his center of gravity, but it almost looks too easy. With the hook over, under in, he muscles his torso back under his hips. How many times can you ever remember anyone contesting Khabib's sheer strength in a match? This is crazy. From here, Gleison Tibau destabilizes the hip position with a knee. Then, in that moment of slack, Tibau circles himself out from against the cage. With the space he's created by force of will, now being able to back up, he further tries to break Khabib off by pushing on the head. Watch, where the head goes, the body goes, but Khabib is a monster himself. Despite not displaying Tibau's level of sheer muscle mass strength, he still has his hands on Tibau. Instantly, Khabib transitions, feeling an opportunity open up for a single leg. But watch how Gleison places his hands under Khabib's armpits. Then literally, he bicep curls Khabib off his point of leverage. This is crazy. How strong is Gleison Tibau? It's a combination of takedown defense and real brute strength contesting Khabib's strength. Of course, if Khabib got the position strong, it's no longer a matter of strength. The leverage he would gain would naturally allow him to work Gleison to the canvas, but Tibau's fast reaction is allowing him to let his physical strength do the rest. With a single leg, if that is outside, you can go for a guillotine. It's not the same with a double leg, as once you got the grip on the far leg, with the head pressure not only works to topple the opponent over, but also mitigates pressure from the guillotine. With a single leg though, you can't get that same head pressure on the outside, thus you're susceptible to that guillotine. Tibau with his palms working as underhooks bicep curled to move Khabib's head outside. You just saw that. From here, he one-arm standing guillotines Khabib off the point of leverage he needed to secure the takedown. Now, With Glayson's left hook in deeper, he successfully is fighting the takedown. Khabib's options have been dramatically limited because Glayson has not allowed Khabib to get his head where it needs to be. With the underhook, watch how Tebow has kept his leg down. Khabib's arms are extended past a point where he can efficiently leverage Glayson from under his hips. He's just burning his arms out. Maintaining the underhook, Glayson enters with a knee, but watch how taking that risk has allowed Khabib to transition to a double leg. With the head outside, Khabib moved to his next best move in the moment. But with Glayson's underhook, Tebow is still bicep curling Khabib from getting a good hand position on that far leg. Here, watch how Glayson transitions to point his feet and hips away from Khabib's head pressure. Pointing both feet away from the direction of head pressure, Glayson is contesting the double leg against the cage. Instantly, Khabib cues on and adjusts. This is a testament to not only Khabib's relentless pressure when it comes to securing a takedown, but his fluid grappling IQ. Able to adapt to the moment, Khabib he pulls perpendicular to the direction of Glayson's foot position. The foot position he's using to fight Khabib's head pressure. Thus, for a moment, Khabib moves Glayson off the cage. As Glayson Tebow pulls Khabib up, bicep curling him with the underhook, he also forcefully turns himself back to an upright posture. Khabib transitions again for a single leg from this position. Unfortunately though, he just does not have the leverage he needs. From here, Glayson Tebow muscles Khabib Nurmagomedov off his center mass, then circles out in that moment of slack he created. All of you just saw something incredible. In these high-level exchanges battling for position, Khabib was fluidly transitioning and in some instances actually securing the positions he needed momentarily but successfully with technique. Glayson took his rare strength advantage to stop the chain grappling attempts. How many times can you ever recall this happening to Khabib Nurmagomedov? Well, this just keeps happening in this bout, and as you can tell, even though it may look like a game of brute force, to an extent it is, but there's just so much technique involved with what is happening. You just saw a lifetime of grappling practice in these exchanges from both of these fighters. This just keeps happening. Glayson successfully defending the takedown, the key components being not only that yes, Glayson Tebow is a state champion in Rio de Janeiro in both Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and wrestling, but also this is perhaps the only time where Khabib's opponent had the physical advantage over him. What does this mean about Khabib? Khabib's mind as a grappler, his fight IQ, is very high, but with his relentless approach, his ability to hold positions most would fatigue or break from, his physical pressure is just straight up unreal. He just keeps coming at you, he doesn't tire, and when he gets his hands on his opponents, they just move. It looks so weird watching Khabib grapple people, even in training, because they just move to his will. He's just so physically strong and persistent that it ends up looking effortless the moment he gets a good position on his opponents. How is this possible? What has been the difference thus far in the current state of MMA that has made him look new invincible? For every advantage, there exists a disadvantage. Khabib Nurmagomedov pays a cost for this level of power. We must note that of course he is relentless in his physical training and sparring, but read this. I was having seizures and I felt very ill, but if I lost, I would not tell you about this because that would be an excuse. Khabib Nurmagomedov on his way cut ahead of the McGregor bout. Khabib Nurmagomedov has had to pull out many times with even complications with his liver, which, Luke Rockhold has testified to in regards to UFC 209. Khabib is a very big fighter. He's a big man.
Khabib, I seen him out of camp once, man, and that's a big dude, light heavyweight size, and he was like wrestling Luke Rockhold and just like out-muscling him.
Sherdog states his walk-around weight is between 185 to 190. He's fighting at 146 to 155, the lightweight division, but his walk-around weight is about that of a light heavyweight, 186 to 205 pounds. Just think about that for a second. That's like a 40 to 50 pound weight difference. It's no wonder everyone Khabib fights looks significantly smaller and weaker than him. He said he doesn't know why God has given him so much, but truly, his real gift is his good heart, fueled by his people and family, his unbreakable mind forged by the tragic irony of his ruthless environment, the war-torn mountains of Dagestan. Khabib Nurmagomedov is willing to endure this much pain, cutting this much weight, because he's just that mentally strong. His desire to not only make his father, but his people proud is just that strong. It's exactly as Friedrich Nietzsche had said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. Habib's greatest advantage is not his physical strength, clearly. It is his mental strength enduring this much suffering. A level of suffering no normal human would ever even consider enduring. This is why he's been so invincible. The knowledge and skill he attained, mastering grappling since childhood, and the physical strength difference he secures via weight cut, it would all be impossible if he was not as mentally strong as he is. It's no wonder he was so inhumanly calm, composed during Conor McGregor's trash talk despite being filled with absolute rage from the deep insults he took. The world has put him through a level of harshness few could ever imagine, especially if you right now have the privilege of watching this from your phone or computer right now. It's why he thinks so much about giving back to others. Manny Pacquiao is the same. Those who truly have had nothing are the most generous when they do. They know what true suffering is like. Thus, their hearts fill with empathy the moment they see that level of pain elsewhere in the world. Habib could have ended the bout with Dustin much sooner. I saw it. I saw him stop certain positions because he knew Dustin Poirier would not give up, which would mean he would have to really hurt him if he continued. That's the kind of man Habib is. Habib is a man who truly cares about people, even from different ethnicities and backgrounds. People who straight up want to take his head off. He cares even about them. You just don't find individuals like this. He's so skilled and has such a massive strength advantage that he can control the way he finishes his fights for the sake of his opponents. Sometimes even pleading with them to give up because he feels bad hurting them. The same boiling water that softens the potato hardens the egg. It's about what you're made of, not the circumstances. Interestingly, for Habib, he's one of the rare cases where he's ended up as both. A soft heart, but a hard mind. With it, he's made the most of his human condition. With that said, let his story inspire you to lift the load of your own individual struggle. If Habib Nurmagomedov could handle all that he has as a fellow human being treading this plane of suffering, I believe in you when lifting yours. Thank you, Habib Nurmagomedov, for this lesson. If you'd like to stay elevated, please subscribe and hit the notifications for more. Thank you if you did. It truly does up the channel. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. It's good karma. And until next time, peace.